going on to the AMC stock family? Now, I know today is part of the weekend day. However, the due diligence and the news does not stop here. It does not stop here because we have some new announcements about the one and the only, the SEC. Now, take a listen to this. Ready? So this says, considering that Gary Gensler is not legally allowed to own AMC shares, this seems like a smart move. What I'm trying to say is that I think there's smart money starting to pile into AMC. And so throughout this video, it will make much more sense. Make sure you guys watch out the entire video to understand just how insane all this is. But again, this is very bullish for the AMC stock family. And then this author points out the same thing by saying that something big is probably going to be coming very soon. So what is all this talk about though? Well, someone made an announcement that Gary Gensler's twin brother, Robert Gensler, is vice president of this index fund or this mutual fund. And so this mutual fund, the company owns 76,600 shares of AMC stock. Now, 76,600 shares, this is not equal the dollar amount, right? This is not how much all this money equals to. This is simply the share amount. So what we're going to do, if we want to find just how much they are invested in AMC, we're going to have to multiply 76,600 times their average share price. What is their average share price? Because it seems like AMC stock, they just bought into it. If they just bought into it, that means, in my opinion, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but if they did recently buy in, I believe they bought in around the $30 to $40 range. So this is going to equal at least in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that this company has invested into AMC. And they also have 8,801 shares of ticker symbol GME, or in other words, GameStop. And so we also know that this index fund, or this equity market index fund, is reporting a 2,386.16% increase into some amount. So we don't know what this actually equates to, but this may just be an increase in possibly their underlying equities like AMC and like GameStop. Regardless, this is a 2,000, almost 400% increase to some extent. And so here's where it gets even more interesting, AMC stock family, because we now have the company, right? The index fund, the mutual fund, we have the investor. This is the same exact company, and this is the equity market index fund. They have a portfolio value of almost $5 billion, if we could just round that up. And then also they have 1,706 positions with 5 open positions. So what exactly are the top 10 holdings? Well, we know that they are actually invested in themselves. This is not an uncommon part of the markets that a lot of people decide to do, just because investing in yourself, that means one of two things. And these are actually both two very bullish key components. One of them being that you have a lot of conviction in your own self. And when you have a lot of conviction, there's no other choice to invest in yourself, because you know that you will be the one that will be giving you the greatest return year over year, or maybe quarter over quarter. It really depends on which time frame, but regardless, this is still an investment in themselves. So the same exact company, they do have an investment in themselves, and here it is right here. You would do this value times 1,000, and the same goes for everything else in this column. And so also going off of that, it's not just the conviction though, it is also the trust. So it is both trust and conviction, and with those two being paired together, that means that this company does believe in themselves. But wait a minute, didn't we just indicate that this company and this equity index fund, they also have AMC stock, and this equates to almost 80,000 shares. So if they believe in themselves, doesn't that mean that they believe in AMC? Otherwise, they would not have this much money invested into their own company. So they could easily sell AMC whenever they would like, but that's not what they're doing. Instead, they're actually buying AMC shares, or they do have AMC shares as of right now, and they have yet to sell. So now we can assume that they are also bullish on AMC, which is going to be phenomenal for the AMC stock family. I know today is part of the weekend. However, when we have news like this, we gotta let the AMC stock family know, because we have to build conviction within the community, because we do not need any paper hands starting next week, starting the next month, and etc. etc. So even though it's the weekend, we still have a lot of bullish news, which is why I'm very excited for this upcoming week for AMC. And that is not all, because we now know that this same exact index fund, mutual fund, equity fund, they are also invested into ticker symbol GME. Now, we stated this in the beginning of the video with roughly 8,000 shares, but it now is confirmed, because for GameStop, they are now also having 8,801 shares again. So this is going to be confirmed about the shares. This is not just any assumption. And so the latest value of this, remember, we have to multiply the share amount. So in this case, 8,800 times the average price. And so this would equate to $1.8 million. So if they are not only invested in AMC, but also GameStop, that means that these meme stocks, or at least these so-called meme stocks, in all honesty, I'm starting to believe less and less that AMC is just a meme stock. In my opinion, it is not just a meme stock, which is why I have a lot of conviction to buy and hold this stock for a very long time. And that is because their quarter over quarter earnings that was announced just a few weeks ago was actually quite bullish, in my opinion. If you compare it to a comparative value, versus what a lot of the other investors were expecting and predicting, they actually end up beating their expectations. And the CEO knows what he is doing. Sometimes he dilutes his shares to raise more cash and decides to reinvest it back into the company, reinvest it back into the theater. He doesn't really care that much about the AMC stock price, and because of that, the company will do better. And if a company does well, the stock price should end up following. Inevitably, that is usually what ends up happening. This was also very true for our other stock, Dave & Buster's, or ticker symbol PLAY. Dave & Buster's was starting to do better and better, and so the stock price did follow, although I do remember when Dave & Buster's was stuck and continuously stuck at $13 to $20 a share, even $10. However, as soon as the company decided to do well, the stock price also followed, and I don't see why AMC stock will be any different. And these filings are also very, very new. This is in 2021 of August 25th, so August 25th of 2021, we have May 26th of 2021, and it goes all the way out throughout even 2019. But we don't need to be worrying about 2019. We need to be worrying about this new upcoming year, which was just right around the corner. Today is August 28th, so not too long ago was there a new filing and there was actually new shares. That's why I'm saying it's new. It's not like they decide to just have this stock a long time ago and they still have it to this day, but rather they decide to add on to their position, and this is very much new and relevant. And so even over the weekend, this is what we have to discuss, because this new upcoming week, if the stock price does decide to fall, let's say in the morning, sometimes the AMC stock decides to fall in the morning or even on Fridays, right? Fridays are the trend days where AMC usually decides to have a red day. That doesn't matter. That's going to be irrelevant to me yet again, because I know the news, and hopefully AMC stock family, you guys understand the news as well, because this to me seems extremely bullish. And now the value change percentage-wise, it seems to be a 12.81% increase in how much value they have in GameStop. This is, remember, GameStop, not AMC. We don't exactly know the percent increase on AMC, but if you remember just a while ago, we were talking about that 2,000, almost 300% increase to some equity or to some extent, and we still don't know to what extent that was, but nonetheless, a 2,000% increase is still phenomenal. And last but not least, I just want to give a quick update about the technical analysis for AMC. So it does seem like we are right below one of the major moving averages, and Charles Payne also decided to add on to his input about this. He also understands that we are below this moving average. However, this is not the case for GameStop. GameStop is very much different right now because we are hovering way above these moving averages. However, that is not the case for AMC. But guess what, AMC stock family? As soon as we go above this moving average, the story will very quickly change for AMC, because all the algos, all the institutions, all the hedge funds, they will realize this. Most of the market is driven by mathematical computation. So once the algos understand that, wait a minute, AMC is now above the moving average, that is when a lot of them will flip the switch and they will decide to buy AMC rather than to sell AMC, because quite honestly, for a lot of these algorithms that run on mathematical formulas, functions, and computations, they're thinking that AMC stock is bearish right now just because of this moving average. However, that is not the case, and in my opinion, it is never the case, because AMC stock is continuously a buy and hold. But for them, they are not going to buy back into AMC unless it goes above this line. That's why it's so important. And so with that being said, we do need to go above $42 a share if this flip wants to be switched, or at least that is what is happening right now on this line. This line is also a technical indicator, keep that in mind. So these indicators continuously keep on changing and they continuously update through volatility. So if we do have another volatile week next week, then this moving average is going to be adjusted, and it is not going to be $42 a share that we need to go above, but it may be higher and it may be lower, but I'll keep you guys updated. So with that being said, AMC stock family, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next video.